Hello students, I am Sushma Thakur from Middle School Chakwa. Today's our lesson is a ballad named Porus and His Elephant. Student, first of all, we will understand the meaning of a ballad. Ballad is a story written or told in verses. Or, in other words, we can say that ballad is a poem or song which narrates a story. This ballad is written by Mary Dobson. The poem is a story of an elephant that saves the life of his master on the battlefield. Before we start the poem, I would like to give you brief introduction about the battle under reference. The battle was fought in 326 BC between Alexander, the king of Macedonia, and King Porus of Purva kingdom on the banks of the river Jhelum in Punjab region of the Indian subcontinent. Now let's recite the poem. The first stanza is: Hear ye a tale of the days gone by, days whose record is short and scant. This is a tale that can never die, told of a king and his elephant. Before we understand the meaning of first stanza, let's first understand the rhyme scheme of the poem. The last word of the first line is by, and the last word of the third line is die. Both words have the same sound: by, die. In the same way, the last word of the second line is scant, and the last word of the fourth line is elephant. Both the words have same sound: scant, elephant. Now students, this kind of pattern, our rhyme scheme, is ABAB. Now let's come to the meaning of the first stanza. Listen the story. The first stanza tells, listen the story of the old days. Yani this is a story of the old days, the story of the past, the story of those days whose record is short, brief, or equal to nothing. This is a folk tale and folk story that you rarely find its record in history, but it doesn't mean that the story is not important at all. Although this is not recorded in the history, yet this tale can never die. The tale or the story is about a king and his elephant. The second stanza is: out on the plains where the water goes, out on the banks of Jhelum wide, Porus the king went to meet his foe. Porus the king in the battle pride, in his battle pride. In the second stanza, the poet describes the place where the battle between Alexander and Porus was fought. The place is the plains of the Punjab near the banks of river Jhelum. And this is the place where King Porus meet his enemy, Alexander. In this stanza, the poet uses a poetic device. Here, first of all, we understand what the poetic device is. The poetic device is the words which make the poem or our speech more effective to the listeners. The here in this poem, the poetic device anaphor is used. First of all, we understand this poetic device. The repeated use of word at the start of line are more uh, Now I define the anaphor. Uh, I define the anaphor again. The poetic device in which we use repeated word at the start of two or more consecutive lines. Consecutive here means nearby and एक के बाद एक या पास पास. Now look the lines of the second stanza carefully. Both first and second line started with the word out, and both third and fourth lines started with the word porous. This kind of repetition of words at the start of the line in the verse is known as anaphor. We can say that the poet uses anaphor literary device in these lines. The third stanza is drawn up his elephant in array, standing in the state in unbroken rank, while Alexander the Great for fray led up his troops on other bank. In third stanza, the poet says that both the armies faces each other on the bank of the river Jhelum. Porus, a brave king, set elephants in array on one side of the river in such a close order that it is very difficult for enemy to break through. On the other side of the river, Alexander was leading his army to attack Porus. Today, we have understand three stanzas of the poem, and we will continue it in next video. Till then, stay safe, stay at home. Thank you.